For a very brief period of time, Mazda used the Mitsubishi logo on their vehicles, and the question becomes, why? Well, today we're going to dig into it because this has caused more than a bit of consternation for some of my viewers. Welcome back to All Cars, y'all. My name is John, and I've done a couple of videos recently about Mazda. The first is, we all know the Mazda RX-7 and the RX-8, but I posed the question of what were the RX-1 through 6? I did another video on the Mazda name, how the Mazda car company ended up with the same name as this vintage light bulb, a Mazda light bulb. It's pretty fascinating because they're totally unrelated, but ended up with the same name. And in both of those videos, I showed this image showing the Mitsubishi logo on a product, or the Mitsubishi logo with the Mazda name over it. And as you can expect, I've had a number of comments about this, not the least of which is accusing me of using AI, of just being an idiot, totally missing the point, showing the wrong product, or whatever it happens to be. But the fact is that they actually did use the Mitsubishi logo on Mazda products. So to get into why that happened, let's take a quick little trip and, well, look at the earliest history of both of these companies. Mitsubishi's history spans back over 150 years, all the way to 1870, with what became a huge vertically integrated company that started as a shipping firm and later got involved in mining, shipbuilding, banking, insurance, and even later steel, glass, paper, aircraft, and much more. Their first shipyard was in Nagasaki, a name that you probably will recognize from history. After World War II, the company was broken up into three regional pieces, with one becoming Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, being reformed in 1964, and the auto departments becoming its own company in 1970. The shipbuilding company had built their first car in 1917, the Model A, as a hand-built Fiat Tipo 3. Only 22 were built. They tried again in 1937, where they built the prototype PX33, an all-wheel drive sedan intended for military use, and giving them at least an introduction to the technology they would later become famous for. After the war, two parts of the broken company got involved separately in autos. One imported and assembled the Henry J sedan by Kaiser Motors. That was in 1951, and that car itself was famous for being the second car sold by Sears, the department store. Also in 1951, a second part of the company manufactured the Jeep CJ3B, an arrangement that was successful and lasted all the way until 1998. In 1960, the Mitsubishi 500 was introduced, followed in 62 with the Minica K car, and in 63, the first in the Colt family of cars, the Colt 1000. After Heavy Industries was reintegrated, they introduced the Gallant in 1969. In 1970, Mitsubishi Motors was spun off as a separate company. The logo behind all of this has its own story, which I will cover in another video, but most famously it's known as the Three Diamonds. In 1964, the logo evolved from a 50-year-old earlier form to the one that we recognize today. Compared to Mitsubishi, Mazda is a far younger company, having been founded in 1920 as a cork manufacturing factory in Hiroshima. Yet again, a name you probably recognize from history. By 1931, the company created its first vehicle, the Mazda Go Auto Rickshaw. As Mitsubishi was a far larger player, Mazda vehicles were marketed through their sales network until 1936. Through the 20s and 30s, Mazda had two different logos they'd use, generally representing the Toyo cork manufacturing portion of their factory. But starting in 1931, the auto products used the Mitsubishi Three Diamond logo with the Mazda product name. As they moved to their own sales network, for 1936, Mazda created a new logo combining Hiroshima City's emblem, a flowing river, with three M's indicating Mazda motor manufacture, while also attempting to resemble wings, symbolizing agility and rapid development. So there you have it. For a brief time, about 5 years, early Mazdas can be seen with the Mitsubishi logo on them, representing the sales channel that they were distributed through. This is a brief video today on the history of this logo snapshot, and I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much, and thank you so much to my patrons for their endless support, which helps make silly little videos like this possible. If you like this, be sure to check out my second channel, All Cars Reacts, where I do reaction videos, news opinions, and generally just vlog about the auto industry and whatever's on my mind. But once again, I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me here today. And if you liked this one, you'll probably like one of these videos right here too.